So what I did see today was that Return of the Living Dead 3 first cut of the film
Mm,
with 8 additional minutes has been unearthed.
that's huge.
So, yeah, so it's pretty big. I've heard about it being uncut for the longest time,
Mhm.
but I don't think ever it was ever technically uncut because I don't know if they couldn't find the footage or what. It sounds like it's on a lost like VHS cut tape. So they did find the elements. So hopefully if they come out with a new edition, they're going to throw that on there. I'm really curious to find out what's actually those 8 minutes because 8 minutes is a long time, man.
Yeah,
So
it had a different ending. So I
yeah,
wonder if that's gonna be like something like that, if it's, but yeah, you can do a lot with 8 minutes, and, I think honestly, I'm curious about an alternate ending 'cause,
yeah.
maybe if there's anything that maybe could use a buffer, maybe it's the ending. Uh,
I hope they can clean it up. I hope they can find like good elements
who
to it.
found it? Who found it, and who can possibly release it? Who has the rights currently? I know Vestron put out a copy,
Veteran
like
did.
5 years ago that I own, you own. I think it dude, somebody needs to give it the vinegar syndrome treatment. I think it'd be right at home with vinegar.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Was it? Wasn't used on, was it? Uh, yeah,
Brian
I don't
used
know.
that. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if it was exactly him who found the elements, but um, I don't know. I'm excited to check it out. Even if it looks like shit, just throw it on there, man, because the fans of like when something like this comes out, when this happens, like just imagine if there was like the alternate version of Dawn of the Dead where he like, he kills himself in the helicopter, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
In the ending. Like everybody would freak the fuck out. So I am excited, man. I'm excited for anything of my favorite films. An extra 8 minutes. I mean, hopefully
But,
it's solid.
if it's on the production end of things and it has nothing to do with who holds the rights, either they're gonna have to just throw it up on YouTube or it's gonna be held on to whenever they wanna re-release it, whoever's got the rights, and
They'll probably hold on to it, I'm sure, because I mean that's a big selling point. So I don't know. I don't know who owns the rights now, if it's still Vestron or not, but who knows? I mean, I'm sure they're gonna ask a lot of money for it next time it goes up for,
yeah,
distribution,
because
so
that seems to be I don't think it's not at the level of a Killer Clowns or a Trick or
no, no, no,
Treat
no.
or any of these movies that have caught this crazy second wind in the last decade, but, you go to the conventions and
Starting to come back.
you see a bit of a resurgence in that film, and I think it's getting that life it maybe didn't have before. I'd be willing to bet most of the people that are our age that like it are like us that caught it on like Skinamax back in the day because that's when I saw it. I used to watch it on like Skinamax or I watched it probably when I was like in the second grade or something on one of those movie channels. But
I used to rent it on VHS all the time, so
yeah, we
it
never
was
rented it. I
incredible.
caught it on a movie channel. And let's just talk a second about how awesome that movie is. I don't think it's aged amazingly well, if I'm being honest. Like I think it's great. I love it. But like it's what
It's totally 90s. Yeah,
you know what I
I
mean?
know
But
you're
like,
saying.
sometimes you watch a movie and you hold it close from like your childhood and you can rewatch it. And it's like, wow, this holds up. This takes me back. Sometimes sometimes it's total dog shit. Like if you play any old video games from the 80s, early 90s, most of them are like, oh, this is dog shit. But it's better left in my memory. Return of the Living Dead is still great, but it shows its like threads because you could notice the budget now. I never noticed the budget as a kid. I never really paid attention to stuff like that, which is great. That means you have a story that's trapping me to stay there. The story is king. But as I get older, I'm like, oh, okay. There's like no zombies in this movie. It's clearly a budget thing. They focus on the girl, and yeah, you have some cool effects with the Cholo gang and stuff like that, but it's very limited. And then when you get to like the end and stuff with like the Riverman zombie, it looks kind of low budget, but I love it. I would like to see definitely some more footage would help because yeah, man. I mean, I've seen that movie so many times. I could be baited with some more footage to make it interesting for guys like me for sure. And I am a sucker. I would buy it if somebody like it feels like a Vinegar title to me. If anybody else put it out, that's what it feels like. If it wasn't Veteran, it feels like a Vinegar Syndrome movie at home. I don't see it as like a second sight thing. I don't see it as but yeah, if somebody wants to release a 4K because we got Veterans Blu-ray, but this is one of those flicks where deck it out. I'll buy a nice set of this. I'll drop some coin.
I agree. So, reading the article, the Joe Blow article, it's saying that the filmmaker Dustin Ferguson um, took to social media, shared a picture of the tape. So he has the actual elements, I'm guessing. And this filmmaker is a filmmaker that has done the likes of Space Sharks, Creepy Pasta Death Net, Spider Baby, and the maddest story ever told. I mean, so we know it's in good hands, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but let me tell you, I this might set our buddy Will on fire. Look at him saying, "Hold on, really quick." We'll see. Aaron and Riverman, y'all need to come on the Return to Living Dead podcast I co-host. Yeah, man, maybe if we can link up and set something aside, that'd be cool. We could talk for days about that stuff. I think 2 and 3 are starting to gain a new audience. So hear me out. I am not saying Return to Living Dead 3 is a better movie by any stretch than Return to Living Dead 1. I'm not saying that. In fact, I acknowledge that part 1 is the best movie of the 3.
Yeah,
However, I kinda enjoy watching 3 better than 1 these days. Like, there's something about it. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just this weird comfort junk food.
I'd rather watch two than one. I love two, man.
Yeah, yeah, same thing with 2. But there's something about those movies. They're just total junk food, man. I don't know. That's not a very hip answer to say, but it is what it is. But yeah, maybe we'll see something here soon with it.